Hi everyone, welcome to week 19 of our SHSAT training program. So this week's math topic is going to be mean, mode, median, and range. And this is sort of just like an introductory lesson to statistics, which is a type of math you're going to do a lot later in high school. But this is just a very basic sort of like founding principles, and like this is something you're going to need to know on the test. So yeah, that's why we're doing a lesson on it. So the idea of mean, median, mode, and range is like, if you give me some set of like a bunch of numbers grouped together in a set, I can calculate the mean, the median, the mode, and the range of those numbers. Those are all like single numbers, right? And then if I give that back to you, like it tells you some information about the numbers, right? But it also like loses some information. So yeah, like the fundamental idea is like, instead of thinking about 1,000 numbers, you're thinking about one number. And that sort of one number aims to tell you a little bit of information about your original set of 1,000 numbers that you could use if you didn't want to think about, individually every one of those 1,000 numbers, because that would like be much harder to do. So the mean is just what you get when you add up all your numbers and then you divide by the amount of numbers. So the mean and the average are the same thing, right? Average is just another word for mean. So if you think about it, it's like the average of all the numbers. Like if I were to make a guess as to what the number is, I would be closest on average if I just picked the mean every time, right? It tells you like what value the numbers tend to be around. So like the mean of the numbers 1, 3, and we'll say 8 is going to be 1 plus 3 plus 8 divided by 3, right? Because 1 plus 3 plus 8, that's the sum of all the numbers, and then 3 is the amount of numbers. So this is equal to, right, 1 plus 3 plus 8 is 12. 12 divided by 3 is 4. So like 4 is around where the numbers like 1 plus 1, 3, and 8 are. So the mean of 1, 3, and 8 is 4. The median is slightly different, right? It's the central number when all the numbers are arranged in increasing numerical order. This also aims to tell you like the center. So for example, like the median of 1, 3, and 8 is just going to be 3, right? Because like if you take out the first and the last, you're left with just 3. So the mean and the median both sort of aim to tell you some information about what the center of your set is, but they sort of do it differently, right? The mean takes into account outliers, like numbers that are really far away from the other numbers. Median sort of just ignores them, right? So like if I have 1, 2, and 3 and a million as my set of numbers, right? Like it's clear, a million is really far away from 1, 2, and 3. 1, 2, and 3 are like close together relatively, and then a million's like way far out. Like it's really different, right? So the mean of these numbers would be 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus a million divided by 4, which is like around 250,000, right? The median is just going to be 2.5. Oh, by the way, an important thing to note about median is if you have an even number of numbers, so like 1, 2, 3, 4, for example, the median is going to be the mean of the central two numbers. So there's no like one central number. The two central numbers here are 2 and 3. So their the median of these four numbers would be the mean of 2 and 3, which is just 2.5. But yeah, anyway, like if you're given this at 1, 2, 3, and a million, right? The mean is really big. The median would be 2.5, the same way it would be if this million was any other number greater than 3. Your numbers could be like 1, 2, 3, 4, or 1, 2, 3, and a million, and the median would be the same. It would not matter at all what the last number is, right? Because it's like just a number you're crossing out and not thinking about after, like your first step of finding the center. So if you want to somehow find the center and include and consider outlying numbers, then mean would be the best way to do so. If you don't want to include them and you only want to like look at central numbers, you don't want to think about outliers, then median would be better. Mode is sort of like different. It doesn't aim to calculate center. It aims to calculate, or it does calculate, the most frequent number in your set, right? So for example, like in the set like 1, 2, 2, 3, the mode would be 2, because 2 is the number that shows up the most times. If you added a 3, the two modes, you can have two modes in one set, would be 2 or 3. And in a sense, like, mode is also useful, because imagine if, you're playing a game when someone gives you a set of 10 numbers and you know their mean, their median, and their mode, right? And this person says, okay, like, guess a number. And, the closer your number is to a number in my set, the more money I'll give you. Then your best bet would probably be guessing the mean, right? Because the mean is the number that's closest to all the numbers in your set on average, right? So, like, if it's like the closer you are, the more money you get, the best choice would be the mean, right? Because that's the number that shows up the closest on average. However, if he says, like, if you guess a number in my set, I'll give you $1 billion, and otherwise I'll give you nothing, then all of a sudden you're guessing the mode, right? Because if it's an all or nothing situation, you would want the number that shows up the most times, because if you're wrong, it doesn't matter how far off you are, you get nothing either way. So, like, in a sense, mode is also useful for knowing something about a set, even though it doesn't do the same thing as mean and median. By, like, calculating the center, it still has some value if you're trying to learn something about the set. The mode could be any number. The mode could be the smallest number in the set, but it would still be the mode, right? And it's still useful no matter where in the set it shows up. And lastly, we have the range, right? The range is just the difference between the biggest and the smallest number. If we go back to our set of 1, 3, and 8, the range would be 7, because 8 minus 1 is 7. So yeah. Now we're going to look at some example problems. So, what number would you divide by to calculate the mean of 3, 4, 5, and 6? So now we're going back to the definition of mean. The number you're dividing by is the number of numbers in your set. In this case, it's 4, right? Because 3, 4, 5, and 6, that's 4 numbers. So the answer is D. If you wanted to actually calculate the mean, it would be 4.5, right? Because 3 plus 4 plus 5 plus 6 equals 18. 18 over 4 is equal to 4.5. So yeah. The mean of 4 numbers is 71.5. If 3 of the numbers are 58, 76, and 88, what is the value of the 4th number? This is a very good question because it sort of makes you think about the mean in general, right? We'll say our 4th number that we're trying to find is x. So we know the mean of x, 58, 76, and 88 is equal to 71.5, right? So the mean of those 4 numbers would just be x plus 58 plus 76 plus 88 divided by 4, right? Because you have 4 numbers, and you know that that's equal to 71.5. So now we're just going to solve this simple equation, right? So 4 times 71.5 is 286. So x plus 58 plus 76 plus 88 is equal to 286, right? Now we're going to add these numbers, right? 58 plus 76 plus 88 is equal to, that's 22, and then 2, 5, 7, 8 is going to be, so these numbers add up together to 222. So x plus 222 equals 286, right? So x equals 286 minus 222, which is going to be, right, 64. So the 4th number is 64, which is answer choice A. And lastly, what is the median of the following numbers? 10, 39, 71, 42, 39, 76, 38, 25. Okay, so to find the median, the first thing we need to do, remember the median, for the median, we need them all to be in increasing order, right, numerically. So we're going to do that first. We're going to order them. So the first number is 10, right? That's the smallest number in our set. The next smallest number after 10, I'm looking, is 25. So that's the next one we're going to write. After 25, I see a 38. So that's the next one, right? Then I see 2 39s. So 39, 39. Right, I can get rid of those. Then 42. Then 71, then 76. And those are all our numbers in our set arranged in increasing numerical order, right? Now we're going to have to calculate the median. So the median would be the center here, right? So to find that, we're going to do this method I like to use called like the sandwich method. Now that is a name that I made up. But just imagine, right? Like this is your set of numbers, right? You're taking off the last and the first number, right? Like you're sort of like, those are the two numbers that are sandwiching in the others. And you want to get rid of them. So like we're going to cross off 76 and 10. And now sort of like ignoring those two numbers, we have a new set, right? I'm going to zoom in so you can't see them, right? I need the 25 though, that's still important. So now we're going to like sort of do this process again. We're going to forget what we just did and we're going to do the same process again with like getting rid of my sandwich. So, or the bread in my sandwich, I guess, I don't know. Now we have 38 and 42, which are also gone. So this is a situation in which we have like an even number of numbers, which is totally fine. That happens too. But now we're going to have to take the mean of 39 and 39. Well, this is actually pretty easy to do, right? The mean of 39 and 39 is just 39, right? Because 39 plus 39 divided by 2. Well, 39 plus 39, that's just 39 times 2. So this is equal to 39 times 2 divided by 2, which is 39 again. So yeah, the mean here would be 39. So yeah, our answer is going to be 39, which is answer choice B. So yeah, that's about it for mean, median, mode, and range. As always, feel free to leave any questions you have in the comments. And otherwise, we'll see you next week.